Colored pencils, artists love them and we've been using them ever since our childhood and still use them today as adults and professional artists. With a huge number of different sets available and colors to choose from, color pencils can be very appealing to us artists. So in today's video, I'm going to be using all the color pencil sets that I own to draw the same subject and then to see how they compare with each other and give my observations and also choose my favorites. So I just want to also mention that I am not sponsored by any of these brands. All of these pencils have been purchased by myself and I've just accumulated these over the past 2 decades or so. So having said that, let's get into today's video. So starting off with the pencil I bought in 2008, I believe, is the artist pencils. Now also bear in mind, all the tins may have changed over the years. These are from 2008, so I'm sure they've changed multiple times already. So you won't see this tin when you were looking for them, but they're still the Derwent artist pencils. So these were the first pencils that I purchased when I was, teaching myself how to draw realistically, and I really enjoy these pencils when I use them. They were beautiful pencils. They're these round barrels, and they've got these beautiful colors. You can see even the range of colors are really beautiful, and they're very they were very fun to use. At that time I was very excited about them, my first big set of professional pencils, and yeah, this was the first set that I ever purchased, the Derwent artist pencils, and I believe this is a wax based pencil. Then I purchased the Studio. Now the Studio pencils, I looked at them and I was like, oh, but they look so beautiful and I want to use them. And these, I believe, were actually for you to use for line work. I bought this around the same time, 2008. And these are actually for more line work or really detailed work that you want to do. That's why they've got a hexagon shape and they've got the same range of colors as the artist pencils, but they are different shape. The barrels are different shapes or a different shape. And yeah, they basically can be used with the artist, and the pencils are also can be used with the artist, but more for real detailed work and also for line work, so for fine details. So that's why I actually purchased that one, but I barely use the Studio. The next one is the Color Soft. Now the Color Soft, I have got another set which I believe is the 36 set, and that's the one that I use quite often, even till today. Like I said, these tins have changed by now, and I use this still today, especially to add details and textures to my watercolor paintings. So this one I use a lot, but not this particular set, but I use the the Color Soft, the 36 set pencils. So round barrels like the artist, and these are the set that this is the set that I got. And honestly, these pencils, being almost 2 decades old, work perfectly. There's nothing wrong with them. They're absolutely the same, and nothing has changed with them. So with these pencils, definitely I can tell you, they last forever. I haven't had any issue. Even the leads haven't started breaking, nothing like that. They work perfectly, just like they did when I first purchased them. Another set that I do use even today is this set of Derwent drawing pencils. Now this is the largest set that they have, the 24 set. Now these set of color pencils are not like the larger sets. They only come with 24 colors, and they only come with very earthy neutral tones. So you'll find a lot of greens and browns and grays. They're trying to be really, have a very subdued, natural, like a nature-based palette. And I really find them helpful for using for your animals and landscapes, because they've got all these beautiful natural earthy tones. And this is something that I really enjoy about these pencils. Hence, I use them till now. Even though I've got all these other pencils, I use these till now. Derwent drawing pencils, which are wax-based as well. So the next set of pencils are the Rembrandt Polycolor pencils. These are by Lyra, and these pencils are really good if you're looking for an alternative to the polychromos. They're not that cheap either, but they're not as expensive as the polychromos as far as I know, and I used to use them before I got the polychromos. So this one was beautiful set of colors, and I use beautiful pencils, and they work so beautifully. And I really enjoy working with these pencils, or enjoyed working with these pencils. I haven't used them in a long time because I did eventually get the polychromos. So I didn't need these ones anymore, but they are beautiful pencils. I really enjoyed them, and this was also bought quite a long time ago, so the packaging may have changed, I'm not sure. So then we're coming on to, at the moment it's my favorite color pencils, but this is the Faber-Castell Polychromos. Now these are oil-based pencils and they are beautiful, and the set comes with so many beautiful colors. They blend so well. They have this velvety smooth application to paper, and you can blend them so well, and they come with these, such a beautiful set, 120 colors. So it comes with all these beautiful colors, and then you've got all your earthy colors and neutral browns, and all of them, they are just beautiful colors. So I love my Polychromos. Like I said, some people prefer other brands, but this is what I've got, and I'm just going to be going through the ones I've got. But these are beautiful pencils, and I really enjoy using these for drawings. Once again, if you do see me, if you do, once I saved up, I purchased this. So if you ever want to purchase a pencil and you feel this is one that you would like after seeing the art that I make with it, I would highly recommend saving up for this one and getting the 120 set one time instead of getting a smaller set, because these are definitely a worth it investment. Now the next set of pencils are ones I barely used, and I can tell you why. Because these are the Caran d'Ache Luminance 76 set pencils. Now the reason why I don't use these pencils that often, I think I've only used it 1 or 2 times maybe, is because they are very expensive. They are very expensive. So I actually bought these, and I was really excited about buying them and using them and having them, but yeah, I barely use them. You can see I barely use them, and it's because I really want to save these pencils. I don't know for what, but I just don't want to use them. Some colors I did use a bit of when I was doing my drawings, but I'm trying to preserve these pencils because they are so expensive, but they are so beautiful. They go onto the paper like velvet, glide on the paper, and I just find them beautiful pencils. But yeah, I need to start using them. There's no point in me keeping them, and that's something that I've started doing more of now and using my supplies that I have. So yeah, these are definitely going to be used because I don't want to just keep them. So now the next pencil that I purchased was the Derwent Lightfast. Now these pencils are beautiful pencils. They've got some really unique colors that really complement your art, especially working with other pencils. And I really, you can mix and match your pencils. You can use what you want to, and I really find them beautiful. As you can see, they've got beautiful colors, and as I said, I'm not really too bothered about the light fastness, but like they say, these are light fast pencils. But I do use these, for drawings. And if it comes to light fastness, I usually use my, take photographs of my art, and I use that for my prints and everything. So I don't really worry about light fastness. And all the artwork that I've created, even the ones I've created in 2008 with my artist pencils and color soft pencils, all that artwork is still perfectly fine, and I've got them in portfolio files, and nothing has happened to those things, those artworks till today. So I don't really bother about light fast personally, as an artist. But obviously, if you're going to be selling the piece of art, like if you've got a drawing and you want to sell it, I would highly recommend you look into your supplies you use, and whether is it acid-free paper as well as the pencils that you used, if it's going to be light fast and it's going to last. And that's something that you need to disclose to your customers. I do believe that, and I do believe you also need to check whether they are light fast or the supplies you use are light fast. So I don't really worry about that because I don't sell my original art. I just use the artwork, take photographs, and then I make prints of it. So I'm not using the actual original art. But my original art, as I said, are all perfectly fine in the portfolio file. Nothing has happened to them so far. Now the next one that I've got is the Derwent Pro Color. Now this one I didn't buy the largest set. I just was trying it out. Like I said earlier, I used to buy a lot of these sets look very pristine. And the one reason is because I used to have smaller sets that I purchased to try them out, and if I liked them, I bought the larger set, and I still didn't end up using the larger set too much. I was still using the smaller set. So this was one I bought, the 36 set of the Pro colors, and I was fine with this amount of colors. To me, I think the larger set wasn't necessary for me for this set. These are just they're color pencils, and they work well, and they they're nice pencils to have with other pencils, but I don't think they were necessary for me to get the larger set, for me personally. So you can see these are very, very beautiful colors as well. And this is a 36 set. So I'm happy with this as a 36. It's just I wanted to have a set of the Pro colors to try out. And I'm happy with having the set. I don't think I need a larger set. The larger set to me has a bit too many yellows. And I don't need that many yellows. So I think this is perfectly fine for me. And then the last set of color pencils that I purchased is the Derwent Chromaflow pencils. Now these pencils, I love them a lot. As I said, this one may look pristine when you see it, but I've been using the smaller set that I bought before buying this one. So you can see it comes with these beautiful colors. You can see all the colors that it comes with. And I've actually been using the smaller set more than this one. I think I've only used this one a few times. Not really that many times. Most of the time I think I'm using these smaller sets. So you'll see they're quite pristine. Haven't really used them that much. Although that is going to change. I'm going to be using them more often. I think this video will help me as well to start, using my pencils more often. So these are my Chromaflows, and I just want to show you again. I'm not sure if I showed you at the beginning of the video, but this is the smaller set, the 24 set that I bought prior to buying the bigger set. And yeah, the pencils are quite used all the time. So I am using them, but I'm using the smaller set a lot instead of using the bigger one. But I think I'm gonna stop with that, trying to preserve my color pencils and just get into it and use them. And the last set of pencils or artist pencils that I've got is the Montmartre Premium Color Pencil set. This is the box set and it's got 72 colors, and I just want to show you what it looks like. I actually purchased this for just having a set in a box set, and it was at a good price, so I purchased it. I have got a video of these pencils on my channel. It is not my favorite pencil, but it is an artist pencil, and you can create art with it. So this is the set that I've got. This is the wooden case that it comes in, and then it's got two parts you hold here, and then you open up your pencils. So it's got quite a good range of colors. As you can see, there's a lot of different colors. It's got 72 colors, and it's got these little padding on the top so the nibs pencils don't move up and down. And it's also got these little wooden holders to hold the pencils in place. So it's really a cute pencil set. It's got a lot of colors, and it's a cute, a display item for me in my case. I don't really use these in my artwork. Like I said, I've done a video or two with them. They're not my favorite pencils. I don't really use this set much, but they are a nice set of colors, and I'm going to be trying them out as well in today's video. Because today's video, I wasn't actually going to include these, but I wanted to include all my artist pencils that I own. So this is a set of artist pencils that I own, so I thought I should include it as well. So that's why I've included it in today's video. So this one is also going to be rated, and I'm going to give you my observations of it after drawing with it. So this one is also going to be included in today's video. I'm going to be working with all of these, and I do have my favorites as I sit here and tell you, but I just want to work through all of them, create with them, see what I can create with them, and then go from there and then give you my comments and my observations of using them. And I think it'll make it easier for you in case you are deciding to buy the color pencil, and whether which one you think from what I've done looks good and which one you'd prefer, as well as from what I've discussed now, the color pencils and what they do, and the wax based, oil based, and all of those things. Like I said, you don't need to have all these color pencils. You can just have the ones that you prefer. And if you are struggling to decide which one, maybe this video can help you to choose the supply that you want to, or the color pencil set that you want to buy. So I'm hoping it can help somebody. that I did using the different color pencil sets that I have. These are only artist grade pencils that I've used. I haven't used any, kids color pencils. These are only artist grade pencils, and I've just used a range of different ones that I own. So you will notice that there's a different flower for this one. This is because these are the drawing pencils, and the drawing color pencils by Derwent does not have a lot of vibrant colors. So I just did another drawing of another flower, but I will still be giving you my feedback as I'm giving you for the rest of them. So I've also not used any blending stumps or blending tools or blending mediums or odorless mineral spirits, which I usually use. I did not use any of that because I want to get the pencils and the way they work on their own and just using the pencils. So this is what I got using the pencils themselves. So let's get into all of these, and I'm going to give you my opinions of what I thought of creating this. The reason why I created one image is easier for me to determine which one did a better job, although I think they all did good jobs in their own way. With the techniques I use, I think they all just looked good. Let's go with the Derwent Lightfast. Now the Derwent Lightfast, I think it's also one of my favorite pencils in general, and I think these pencils went on very smoothly. They can be blended very well, you can layer them, and I think they got a good range of colors. If I'm using the largest set, the 72 set, so I think they really good pencils. They really blend well, and I enjoyed using them. It was not a struggle for me to do this drawing of this tulip with them. Going on to the ChromaFlows, these are a lot of pencils that I really enjoy using. I even use them when I want to add textures and add details to my watercolor paintings. But these also went on really well. I could really get in layering. I could, add more detail as well with them. Nothing really I have negative to say about them. They are really good pencils, and they go on very smoothly onto this paper. So that was a good thing I enjoyed about them, and the final result looks really good. The next one is also a favorite of mine. These are the Faber-Castell Polychromos, and I must say the Faber-Castell Polychromos go on very smoothly. They are really buttery pencils. They blend really well. They are very good at getting detail, layering. The blending is good. I really enjoyed using these pencils, and I definitely would keep the Polychromos as one of my favorites. The next one we've got over here is the Caran d'Ache Luminance. Now these pencils also very smooth. They go down well. They blend well. You can add a lot of detail. As you can see, I even got more detail with the Luminance than I did with the Faber-Castell, but that's not necessarily because of the the pencil itself. It could be that I just used a sharper point of the pencils for this drawing. But it's really also very fun using. I enjoyed using it. It was a pleasure using it. So these are still at my top 4. I would still say these 4 are at my top 4. So these all worked well. So I don't have anything negative to say about these. So I do have one thing to say about the ChromaFlows. I did have one issue, and that was only that the one pencil, the pink pencil, kept breaking, and I'm not sure why that is. Even when I had the smaller set, the pink was also breaking. The nib was just breaking every time I try to sharpen it. So I'm not sure why that is the case. If it's just a problem with the lot that was made or what, because I never dropped my pencil, so I don't know what that was. But that's the only issue I had. But other than that, I really enjoyed using these pencils. Now the next lot, the next 4 that we've got. So the next 4 that we've got, we're starting off with the lighter polycolors. Now the polycolors we're getting into the more older pencils that I don't use that often. I mostly use the first 4 that I showed you, but these pencils I still use from time to time, because these are the pencils I used before I got the Polychromos. So they were really fun using them, and I always enjoyed using them, and the blending is really good. The layering, I can go down very smoothly. They're also very smooth pencil, so I really enjoy using the the lighter polycolors. I think those are also really good pencils if you're looking for something that's more cheaper than it's not a cheaper pencil, but it's cheaper than the Faber-Castell Polychromos. So this is definitely one that I would recommend if you're looking for a cheaper alternative to the Polychromos. And then the next one is the Derwent Color Soft. Now these pencils, I do use them as well details and textures to my watercolor paintings, and in my sketchbook. But I did have an issue when I was working with it on this paper and drawing this tulip. I noticed here, you can see when blending, there was a bit of, it wasn't very clean blending. It looked a bit messy there. So overall, it is a good pencil to use. I still use it. I love those pencils. They go down very smooth as well. So I wouldn't say that this is a bad pencil. The Color Soft is a good pencil. The only thing is when I applied there, I think the blending was just, I think the wax was a bit too much. Maybe I'm not too sure what the reason was, but that's the only problem I found with the Color Soft that I used here. But usually when I use them, I don't have a problem with them. But I think they're not as soft as the previous pencils that I've shown you, but they are on this particular paper. Maybe I went down too heavy, I'm not sure, but yeah, on this particular paper they didn't do as well, but the rest of it was all right. It's just that one portion of the petals that didn't turn out the way I wanted to, but like I said, it may have been just me with a heavy hand. So the next one we have is, we've got the Artist and the Studio. Now the Artist and Studio pencils are basically the same. The one is just a harder pencil than the other. Now when it comes to Artist pencil, I was able to get a nice looking tulip. It is a very waxy pencil, I have noticed, and over the years my techniques have changed. I've been using the Artist and the Studio when I initially started drawing realistic drawings with color pencils, and I used to be very happy drawing with them. But once I've started using the the oil based pencils like the Faber-Castell Polychromos, and my techniques have changed. Obviously I am finding it a little more of a challenge to get the look that I want for my drawings. It was a bit more of an effort. Not that anybody can't draw with them, you can draw with them, but with my techniques that I use, I think it's not ranking at the top level. I think they're a bit too waxy for me. That's my opinion for them. But you still can lay them down, you can blend them, but they're a bit too waxy for me. Now the Studio, these are very hard pencils. So I think these pencils can go down, you can, draw with them, you can, I created this drawing with them. But I think it's a bit more of a challenge because they are I think the challenge comes in when they are very hard pencils. So you can use them for very, line work and getting, quick sketches down and drawing and getting outlines and things like that. But when it comes into coloring large areas, I think you're better off with the Artist pencils. But these can get very fine details in because they're this harder pencil, so you can get some really strong lines with them. So this is what I found with the Studio pencils. But like I said, both of these produced a good drawings that I am happy with. Both of these are really good drawings, and it just was that they are a bit more waxy, and they got a bit more wax compared to the others that I've used. And I think this Studio one, because it's such a harder point, it's a bit hard to get this really smooth blends with that hard point because it is a harder pencil. So, but I think it'll be fine for sketching and getting outlines and getting your ideas down. I think that's perfect use for the Studio. And then even if you want to add some more coloring in and testing different color combinations for your compositions or anything, I think the Artist will be perfect to do that with. So that was the next four. Next flowers drawn with the Derwent Pro Color. Now the Pro Colors, I have mixed feelings about it because it's a good pencil, but it's not a pencil that I would just reach for often. I very rarely reach for those pencils. I even go to my Color Softs more than these ones. So I'm not sure if it's because they are a bit of you can get smooth blending, you can get some fine and hard or like line work on it and get details in there. So I don't really have a bad thing to say about these pencils, but they're not my favorite. I think I prefer the pencils for the techniques I use and the paper I'm using. I prefer a smoother pencil that goes down smoother. But for a pencil, I think they are good pencils, but as I said, for me, I don't think they're my favorite pencil, but they are one that I do use and I will use, but it'll be used in conjunction with other pencils, not just by itself. So that is one that I still think is a good pencil. It did form a good drawing. It was able to be blended well. Line work was also, I was able to get some details in there. And another thing I also want to mention about these, the paper that you use for color pencils will also make a difference. Sometimes pencils that are waxy, like the artist pencils or the Studio, Color Soft, the Pro Colors, they will work better on a textured paper. So if you have a paper that has a bit more texture, or like some sketchbooks have got a textured paper, not a watercolor paper, but a textured sketchbook paper, they will go down better and they'll blend better on that kind of paper than on a smoother, thicker paper like this. For example, if you have a sketchbook with, let me show you for example what I mean. Okay, so I'm looking at a sketchbook like this. So in a sketchbook like this, for example, this is just a regular sketchbook, but the paper, it's got this sort of a, I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but it's got a bit of a texture to the paper. It's just regular it's a regular sketchbook. The paper is quite thin, nothing too fancy, but it's got a bit of a texture. And this kind of paper can actually use the pencils like the Color Softs, the Artist, Studio. I think they can work in the Pro Colors. I think they can work better on paper like this than working on my, my smooth hot press watercolor paper that I am using for my drawings. Paper makes a big difference on what results you get, as well as the techniques that you use and what you're trying to achieve and how you want your drawings to look. So with that in being said, I think that the Pro Colors are good pencils. As you can see, they did produce a quite solid drawing, and it's blended well. There's details, you can see all the details on the petals, so I think they are quite good, these pencils, but they are not my top favorite, but they are good pencils. The next one was a pencil Montmartre. Now this was actually a wooden set that I purchased, and I purchased the wooden set just because it was a very fancy set and I wanted to have a wooden set in my studio. And I purchased it, and I've made a video with these pencils, but I have found them to be a bit light for my liking. I think the colors are not as vibrant. It took a lot of layering here and a lot of burnishing, quite a bit of burnishing to get it to be this dark. Some colors also are lighter than others, and they can be used. It's not that they can't be used, but as I said, maybe they will work better on other paper, but on this paper, this is how I got the results that I was looking for. I was able to achieve it, but it was with a bit of effort, and I think that maybe the paper could change and maybe it'll be different. It'll work better on other paper, but you are able to get a nice drawing with this, even on this paper. So none of these pencils are really bad. None of them are really bad. Even this one, it is was a cheaper pencil, and I'm not sure if it was on special, but it was quite a good price I got for a wooden box set, and I really enjoyed using these pencils. But as I said, you may get better results on a different paper. These I have found to be very light, these pencils. You have to put a lot of pressure to get them to come out dark. So that's the only thing I noticed about this one. And then the final one is a different drawing. Now I couldn't draw a tulip because tulips are bright and pink and green, and the pencils I've used for this are the Derwent drawing pencils. Now I absolutely love the drawing pencils. I think for nature, animals, and scenes with like landscapes, I think they are beautiful pencils to use, and I use them till today. Those are also pencils that I started using a long time ago. And you can see that this is the drawing that I did of a flower with these pencils, and the blending was really nice. I was able to blend well, it goes down. Now the drawing pencils also have got a sort of a chalky feel to them. They don't feel like pastels, but they do have a chalkiness to them. But when they go down, it's not like they're moving when you go down. Once they go down, they are a wax-based pencil, but they have this sort of a drier feel to them than other wax pencils. And I really enjoyed drawing. I was able to get detail, I was able to shade in areas, and I was able to get marks down very quickly. That's one thing I noticed about them. They just make marks very quickly down on paper. All of these do, but this one in particular, you can get your drawing done very quickly with these pencils. Blending is a breeze. You can blend your colors well, you can add your details, line work. So I think these are really good pencils for anything. You can draw from animals to landscapes. You can use these pencils. I think they're beautiful. So the drawing pencils, Derwent drawing pencils, are definitely on my list as one of the, the top pencils. Now, okay, so now I talked about each one when I drew them. Now let's go through the final results and rate them from my favorite to my least favorite. Now, least favorite doesn't mean it's the worst. It's just that it doesn't work for me as I want my art to look, or the techniques I work, and how I've adapted to it now, or how I've changed. Because things change over the years, and for me now, the way I work now and the paper I use now will make a big difference. So I think going according to all of that, let's rate these drawings. So I think the first pencil, number 1, would be for me the Caran d'Ache Luminous. I think that is the crispest, beautiful, drawing of a tulip. Definitely number 1. Number 2 will be my all-time favorite Faber-Castell Polychromos. Definitely a number 2 for me, for the smooth blending and the softness of the pencil. I think number 3 would have to go to the Derwent Lightfast, because those pencils go down smooth. They, you can get detail, blending. I love these pencils, so number 3 goes to them. Number 4 is Derwent Chromoflow. I think Derwent Chromoflows are also very soft pencils. They go down very well. They blend very well. You can get detail, very vibrant. I love these pencils. Definitely number 4. Number 5 will go to the Lyra Polycolors, because the Lyra Polycolor was an alternative I used to use before I got myself the Polychromos. They are, really good pencils as well. Soft, blend well, you can get detail with them. So definitely number 5 would be to them. Number 6, I think, would go to the Derwent drawing pencils. Now these pencils, obviously we don't have the vibrant colors of the others, but with these pencils, I think definitely they blend well, they go down smoothly, and even though they go down with a bit of chalky feel to them, I think they still go down. I mean, they don't wipe off, they're not pastels, but they are beautiful, beautiful pencils for natural scenes, animals, nature, landscapes. I think they're beautiful pencils to use for them. So definitely these will be at number 6, the Derwent drawing. Then number 7, I think I would give it to the Colorsoft, the Derwent Colorsoft. These pencils, even though I had a bit of an issue on the side here, as I've mentioned, I think these are definitely pencils that I've really enjoyed using. I think they can add a lot of texture and, really brighten up your, even like I use them for watercolor paintings. I think they're really good for that. So definitely these will be number 7. Number 8, I think, would have to go to the Derwent Pro Colors. These are good pencils. I don't have any issue for them. In fact, the Colorsoft and the Pro Colors are, I'm torn between the two of them. But I think for me, both of them are actually quite close. But I think I would have to give it to number 8 spot to the Derwent Pro Colors. And then number 9 would go to the Derwent Artist Colors, just because they are a bit too waxy for me. So I think they would be number 9. Number 10 would go to the Derwent Studio pencils. They are very hard pencils, but like I said, I think these two would be great pencils to use for planning, for getting my concept down, getting my sketches down, doing outlines. I think that'll be 9 and 10. And then I think the last one, number 11, would have to go to the Montmartre color pencils. These, just because these pencils, you really have to work very hard to get the color down and get it vibrant. I think they're very light, these pencils, and they don't have enough pigment. So I think that would be number 11. So those are the ratings for these pencils. I've had so much of fun using all color pencils for this video. I've been wanting to do this for so many years, but I just never did it. But I finally did now, and I know which pencils I really love and which pencils I'm going to continue using. And I also learned some new things that I can use the other pencils for. So that's a good thing, especially using the older pencils like the artist and studio pencils that I haven't used for a long time. It was nice seeing how I can use those pencils, and it makes me realize that okay, they can be used, but in a different way, not for finished artwork, but they can be used. Overall, these pencils were all good. They were able to achieve a tulip drawing or a flower drawing in the case of the drawing pencils, but I was able to achieve a drawing with them. So this was a fun challenge, and this was an exciting challenge as well. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot from it, and I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned something from it. If you have, don't forget to like and share. It really helps the channel out. Also, if you'd like to see other art videos like this and art content and sketchbook videos that I put up on my channel, then you could consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified as soon as my next video is uploaded. So I guess that's it for this one. Till the next one. Bye!